This is the Georgia Farm Monitor. Since 1966, your source for state and national agribusiness news, and features for farmers and consumers about Georgia's #1 industry, agriculture. The Georgia Farm Monitor is produced by the state's largest general farm organization, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now, here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
All right, another week, another show, and time for us to share the latest ag news with you. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of the Farm Monitor. I'm Ray DeLessio.
And I'm Kenny Burgamy. Happy to have you along for the next 30 minutes. Coming up, you can almost smell the blueberry pies baking. Straight ahead, we'll head to Alma, Georgia, and see what effects, if any, Mother Nature has had on this year's crop.
Also on the program, as we celebrate Fathers this month, a special look at one of Georgia's top cattle operations, what drives the father and son team, and how the family values have led to their success in a short amount of time.
And then later, sure, they're not the prettiest thing. Some might even call them downright creepy. Nonetheless, bats are an asset to the environment, and we've got the instructions on how to build the perfect bat house in your backyard. These stories and so much more starting right now on the Farm Monitor. After seeing nearly 80% of their crop lost to bad weather in 2017, blueberry producers were hoping for much better luck this growing season. However, that doesn't seem to be the case, as Mother Nature has once again caused major problems. Damon Jones tells you just how much damage farmers are expecting.
Known as Georgia's blueberry capital, the city of Alma is responsible for more than a quarter of the state's production. However, just like last year, the overall numbers will be down after another challenging growing season.
Well, the first thing was a very warm February, and these plants thought it was time to bloom, so they bloomed really early. And then on March 9th and then March 16th, we had a freeze. And so that caused quite a little bit of damage there.
While this year's loss might not be as catastrophic as 2017, when 80% of the crop was damaged, farmers are still expecting a significant reduction in yield once again.
From the freeze, we've had probably 60 or 70% damage from where our potential was. Statewide, we had the potential of doing over 100 million pounds. We're probably going to be down 40 to 50 maybe million.
And it's not just the tough growing season farmers have had to endure, as the weather has also been less than ideal to begin harvest season.
Then for the last 3 weeks, we've had rain. We had Alberto sitting down there, and it's just pumping moisture in here, and so we're trying to find a time to pick between showers. We want to put a good quality product out. We have to put a good quality product out. We don't want to put any junk out. And so when it gets full of water, that hampers that. The berries they'll actually explode, and they'll get little tiny cracks in them. And when they get into the clamshell, then they're going to be leaking.
The big reason for that is because of the short windows of time the storms are giving farmers to get their ripe berries out of the field.
Well, it's been tough because we can't machine pick, we can't hand pick or anything as long as we're getting these rains. We get a rain at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we're shut down until the next morning, maybe at 11 o'clock. And then maybe it'll dry out a little bit, and then we get another one at 2 o'clock that afternoon. So it leaves a very narrow window.
Now, despite back-to-back years of poor weather, growers are not discouraged. Even though the number of acres aren't likely to rise next year, they also aren't expected to drop much either.
I think it may slow it down, the expansion. Now, those that are already in it, I think it's going to slow down the expansion there too. But what we are seeing, we're seeing farmers taking out old varieties and putting in new varieties. So somebody comes by and says, "Well, there's a new field going in over there." Well, it may be an old variety that's played out and a new one's coming in.
Reporting from Alma, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Check out some other ag news. UGA Extension's Fresh Mobile Market is once again hitting Georgia's roadways. With services in both Fulton and DeKalb County, the market targets community centers, churches, and libraries in areas that are underserved by traditional supermarkets. For more information on running times and locations, visit the UGA Extension Fulton County Facebook page, as well as the complete Fresh On Deck schedule at www.freshondeck.com.
The Department of Agriculture has released its hold on enrollment in the Conservation Reserve Program. In 2016, 23.9 million acres were enrolled, forcing USDA to pause enrollment because of an acreage cap set by the 2014 Farm Bill. According to Dr. John Newton, American Farm Bureau Federal Market Intelligence Director, the emphasis on continuous CRP enrollment will ensure that most sensitive acreage will be enrolled in the program.
It's important to know that CRP is a voluntary program aimed at conserving soil, water, and wildlife resources, and they do that by removing highly erodible and environmentally sensitive lands from production, and farmers then install resource-conserving practices. USDA does provide an annual rental rate on CRP ground.
Enrollment is open now until August.
Living almost a century is certainly a milestone in itself, but still being active and productive at that age is a whole other level. As John Holcomb reports, Mr. Jacob Davis is living proof that age can sometimes indeed be just another number.
You would think that after 96 years, a person would start to slow down, but not Mr. Davis. In fact, by watching him, you would never be able to guess his age. I managed to get him to sit still for a while and talk about his journey that began around World War II.
I worked in the shipyard for about 2 years before then I was drafted into the service. So when I went into service, they asked me what branch of service I wanted to go in, and I told them I wanted to go in the Air Force. Well, they said, "You're going in the Navy."
After being shipped out for basic training, Davis served on an aircraft carrier until the end of the war.
I was fortunate that I was one of the first groups to lead the ship. I was on a troop ship, and they brought us back to California, San Diego, and from there I came to Jacksonville, Florida, where I was released. Jacksonville, I got to come back to the farm. I always loved it.
After returning home, Davis started farming tobacco on land he bought from his dad. Not too long after being home, though, he found another love, one that's been by his side now for more than 70 years.
Before I knew it, the farmer had come into the picture, one that I said I would never marry. And we did. We married, and we've been married 72 years.
Don't think she's been sorry that she married a farmer. But Lord blessed us with a wonderful family, blessed us with a Christian family, and I just can't thank him enough for all that he has done for us.
Their family has grown a lot since it was just the two of them. They had 5 children, which have since had children of their own. They're an extremely close family, so close they all live within just a few miles from each other. They all farm and all get together for family meals.
When my sons graduated from college, I wanted them to come back to the farm. I don't know why, but they could have made a better living doing something else, but I just wanted them to farm, and they did, and they have been successful at it. And I was glad to see some grandsons following that footstep.
Mr. Davis doesn't work out in the fields anymore, but is still very active. He tends to his garden and his pecan orchard and always has his furry sidekick in the seat next to him. Davis says he's grateful he's lived a life on the farm, doing what he loves most.
I'm just thankful the Lord blessed me to be able to work with us all.
Reporting in Blackshear for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
When we come back, the Monitor spends the day with the 2017 Georgia Cattle Producer of the Year. In this case, it's actually producers, and their story is a special one. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Jessica Deniston. I am the equine-assisted therapy program coordinator and head equestrian coach here at Wesleyan College with our equestrian program. So the best thing about the equine-assisted therapy is that horses don't judge. We're so used to thinking about counseling sessions where we have to go in and tell a person all of our feelings and problems and all that, but horses don't expect that from us. Instead, you can go into a session and be yourself. Horses really serve as a mirror to what's going on, so it's amazing. You'll have a client walk in who doesn't want to tell you anything about what's going on. They don't want to talk, they don't want to be involved at all, and the horses really pull it out of them. So we really utilize the horses as one of our facilitators in the therapy, not just a tool for balance or anything like that. They're really a facilitator. All of the work is on the ground, and it's working on not just physical disabilities, but also mental disabilities, substance abuse, things like that. They use it a lot in family therapies as well. So we're really excited that we'll get to utilize our current herd of horses here at Wesleyan as well as our current facilities. And we're really excited to bring this to Middle Georgia. There's 1 or 2 farms in the area that are offering similar therapies, but there aren't any colleges in the area that are offering a program where you can actually earn a degree in the equine-assisted therapy here in Middle Georgia. We're actually right on campus here at Wesleyan College, so students don't have to drive to us. They can walk down and spend time with the horses in between classes. We have a 24-stall barn, 3 wash tracks. We house all of our college-owned horses here who have all been donated to the program, and we also offer boarding for the community and students as well. And then in our programs, we obviously have our equine-assisted therapy minor now. We have riding courses for students here at Wesleyan where you can earn college credit. We have 2 IHSA teams. We have Hunt Seat and Western. And then we also offer community riding programs as well as summer camps. So we have a lot going on. I mean, it's amazing to see the difference in students when they get to spend time with the horses, seeing their confidence grow. We have a lot of students who come in who have actually never ridden, and then when they get to go out with our show team as a walk trot rider and seeing them really grow and develop, and it's amazing.
Farm and family values. There is no definition of it in the dictionary, but if there was, chances are you'd see the father and son tandem of Marcus and Anthony South mentioned in the byline. As the owners and operators of Triple S Farms in Thomaston, Georgia, it's because of their values and success in running a cow-calf operation, hay production, and poultry operation that earned them the 2017 Georgia Cattle Producer of the Year.
Back in 2001, we started off with like 25 head, you know, and just kind of anticipated and didn't really have no goals like far as, you know, what we wanted to reach at that moment or that time, you know. I mean, it was just kind of one thing, you kind of, the passion grew with it, you know, just starting out small and just year for year, we kind of grew off of that.
You get attached to, it's just an enjoyment, you know, to fool with the cows, you know, it's just something I enjoy doing, and really you need to enjoy it because there's a lot of work in it, but it don't seem like any work when you enjoy it, you know. You know, you don't want to act boastful or whatever, but you are proud, you know, that, hey, and I know there's a lot more out there that's probably as deserving or more deserving than we were, but I'm thankful that we were recognized.
You know, getting involved with Farm Bureau has kind of opened my eyes a lot, you know, and just kind of getting outside the fences, knowing what other people do, you know, and learning from other people. I think sometimes we got to realize we don't need to be stuck in our ways and doing the same thing we've done for years. And I think I've just kind of had that vision of trying other things, you know what I'm saying? Just not being stuck doing the same thing the same way. We've expanded doing baleage and stuff, you know, I guess I forage and all. I've really concentrated, we've all concentrated on trying to feed a little more quality than it is quantity, you know, so and I think that's helped us a lot.
I'm fortunate that like you said earlier, that I work with my son, and he pretty much lets me do what I want to do, you know. So that's a real enjoyment, you know, that you get kind of pick and choose what you want to do.
I think you have to be a close family to be able to do that. You know, I think it draws the family closer, you know, as long as you have the same goals, you know, and as far as compassion for what you do, you know. You know, sometimes Daddy will have to go off and vacation or something or other. It kind of makes me realize when he's not here, how much I do rely on him. I take it for granted, kind of, you know, because he's supposed to be retired, you know, but he's doing what he loves, and I'm just thankful to have that opportunity to spend with him. I'm hoping my kids will continue the family farm. I really do, but that's all up to them.
Yeah, great family. And don't forget, if you missed any part of this story or the others on today's program, you can still see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel, The Georgia Farm Monitor. Plenty of stuff to choose from. In fact, the archive goes all the way back to 2009.
And while you're there, keep clicking and like the Georgia Farm Monitor Facebook page. Send us some feedback as well. If you have a story idea, or if you just want to leave us a comment or suggestion, send us a message either on Facebook or at the address that's on your screen there. That is news@farm-monitor.com. Pollination, fertilization, and well, because they're downright cool to look at. After the break, the benefits of having a bat house in your backyard.
I'm Trina Morris, and today we're going to talk about giving your neighborhood bats a safe home. Whether you want bats to move out of your house or you want bats to move into your yard, a bat house might be the solution. There are 4 major things to consider when thinking about building a home for bats: design, temperature, location, and timing. Design is critical. Whether you buy a bat house or build your own, the designs should be certified by Bat Conservation International. The most successful bat houses are a minimum of 20 inches tall and 14 inches wide with a landing pad. Taller and wider houses are even better, but the roost partition should be spaced so that there is a 3/4 of an inch chamber for the bats to roost in. It's best to avoid pressure-treated wood because it may contain chemicals harmful to bats. You can have simple houses with a single chamber, larger boxes with multiple chambers, or you can even put up a deluxe bat condo that can hold thousands of bats. We have free plans for building bat houses and information about where you can buy a bat house on our website. Temperature is another important factor. Bats need a warm space to raise their young. They look for stable daytime temperatures close to 100 degrees. So instead of putting up your bat house in a shady tree, put it in the sun. Bat houses should be mounted in an area that gets 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight facing either east or south. Location is also critical for bat houses. Bat houses should be mounted 15 to 20 feet off the ground and should be about 20 to 30 feet from tree branches and other obstacles. They should be placed in areas where the bats can get quickly to cover, like along field edges. It's also good if there's a water source nearby, along with a variety of habitat types, and especially native vegetation. Bat houses do well mounted on poles and on the sides of buildings with good sun exposure. Finally, timing is also important. This is a great time of year to put up a bat house. When temperatures drop, bats will likely move out of houses and into areas with more stable temperatures. If you put up a bat house in the fall or winter, it gives the house some time to age and will give the bats time to check it out in the spring. Patience is important. Bats may not find your house right away, or they may already have a roost that they like better. If you've had a well-designed house up for years but no bats, it may be a good idea to move it and see if the bats like it better somewhere else. Wherever you move it, be sure you're ready for guano when it becomes occupied. It can build up quickly. It's great to use as fertilizer in your garden, but you may not want it stuck to the side of your house. Whether you want bats to move out or move in, I hope you will consider installing a bat house. Watching bats enjoying their evening meal in your yard while you enjoy time outdoors with fewer insect pests is good for everyone. Visit GeorgiaWildlife.com for more information about bats and bat houses. Bye for now, and thank you for helping keep Georgia wild.
Finally this week, every year, thousands of enlisted men and women make the transition from military life back to civilian life.
And one of the biggest challenges they face is selecting a new profession. This week, we meet one retired military couple that took up farming and never looked back.
Hi, I'm Glenn Robinson. We're here on my farm here in Rockmart, Georgia, Fish Creek community. I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force. I graduated from Rockmart High School in 1969 and went right into the military. And then I retired in 2007 as a Chief Master Sergeant with the 22nd Air Force.
Hi, I'm Laura Robinson. I'm a 20-year veteran of the U.S. Air Force. And I mainly was in acquisitions, which is I bought the aircraft that pilots fly. I started in R&D. I was lucky enough to spend 2 years teaching ROTC at the University of Puerto Rico because that basically became my second career or third career after the farm.
We had the opportunity to buy this farm and we've really enjoyed it ever since. We're basically a cow-calf operator, and we also cut our hay to feed our animals. And that seemed to be the thing that we needed to do with our property because it was the easiest thing since we were still working and deployed a lot after 9/11. So it just made sense to go into the cattle business, and we've really enjoyed it ever since.
You have experiences that go straight into farming. You have those leadership experiences. You're organized. We all work hard. We have great work ethic. And that's what it takes to be a farmer. And if you're willing to learn and take the time to understand whatever crop or livestock you plan on raising, then you can make it. I mean, this is a perfect lifestyle for veterans. Perfect.
And as a veteran, I can appreciate being out on the land like this and having the time just to spend out in the area where God intended me to be at this particular time in my life. So I've really enjoyed it.
What is there not to enjoy? I mean, you wake up in the morning, you've got this gorgeous, beautiful sight to look out at, no people around to speak of, quiet, except for the noises of the cows and the turkeys and the dogs and the chickens. And you know, it's just beautiful. It's God's country.
We try to stay involved in the community. I'm the president of the Polk County Cattlemen's Association and also a member of the Farm Bureau here in Polk County as a board member. And we work a lot with the FFA and 4-H students here in the county. And we've recently started a calf show team here, which has been just an outstanding experience for us. Our time in the military, we wouldn't take anything for it. It was a long career, but you know, a lot of responsibility, and most people don't understand the sacrifices our soldiers and airmen and sailors do for this country. You're always away from home. You miss birthdays, anniversaries. I mean, anything that you can think about. But the people that we really need to think about also is the families, because they're the ones that have to stay behind and take care of things while we're gone. So, but the sacrifices, I wish everybody could really understand what all that's about. But you know, just get out and shake a veteran's hand when you get an opportunity to do it.
Great people, and as always, we thank them for their service.
Absolutely.
Well, that is going to do it for this week's edition of the Farm Monitor.
Don't forget, for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening down on the farm, be sure and check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll be informed and see what's up in the world of farming and with us on the show.
We leave you today with a look back at the annual GFB Dairy Day held recently here at Farm Bureau headquarters. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Have a great week.